Okay, so ready to dive into something a little bit different today.
Always up for good deep dive. What do we have?
We're going deep on Colleen Hoover's It Ends With Us.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, you sent over this amazing in-depth review,
Yeah.
and I was hooked from the first page.
It's definitely a powerful one.
It's not just a romance, though, right?
Oh, absolutely not. It's so much more than that.
It gets really real with some tough topics.
Yeah, it tackles things like domestic violence and learning to value yourself,
Exactly.
finding your own worth.
Which is something I think a lot of people can relate to.
Absolutely.
On some level.
So for those who haven't read it, let's set the stage.
Okay.
We meet Lily Bloom, our main character.
Right.
She's escaping her past, starting fresh in Boston.
A classic new beginning.
And you can just tell right away she's independent, she's ambitious.
Not your typical damsel in distress.
No, not at all.
Just refreshing.
Then we meet Ryle.
Ah, Ryle.
He's a neurosurgeon.
Seems to have it all right.
Yeah, on the surface. Brains, the looks, even that hint of bad boy that can be so charming.
It's like that instant spark, right?
That intense connection that just pulls you in.
And you think, okay, this is the perfect love story.
Yeah, you get swept away in that whirlwind romance.
And this is where Hoover is brilliant.
I know what you're going to say.
She turns everything on its head.
Right. It's not all sunshine and roses.
Ryle has a dark side.
And it starts to surface as the story unfolds.
Which makes you question everything you thought you knew about him.
Exactly. It makes you think about those early stages of a relationship and whether we're really seeing the whole picture.
Right. Are we blinded by the initial attraction?
Are we missing those red flags?
And that's where Lily's past, with her first love, Atlas, comes in.
Atlas plays such a crucial role in the story.
He represents a completely different kind of love.
Right. He's that safe haven, that steady presence.
Especially after what Lily went through as a child.
His kindness is almost jarring compared to the chaos of her upbringing.
And you can tell those memories of him, they stay with her.
They represent a kind of love that's stable and true.
It's like she's constantly comparing Ryle to Atlas.
Trying to figure out what real love actually looks like.
And as Ryle's behavior becomes more unpredictable,
More volatile.
those memories of Atlas become even stronger.
Yeah, it's like a tug of war in her heart.
Exactly. It's this constant back and forth.
Between the passionate love she feels for Ryle and the security she craves from Atlas.
Which makes you, as the reader, wonder what path she's going to choose.
What will she ultimately decide?
And that's what I love about this book. It goes way beyond just a simple love triangle.
It's about so much more than who she ends up with.
It's about Lily's journey of self-discovery.
It's about confronting her past, recognizing those unhealthy patterns, and ultimately choosing herself.
Which is so powerful.
It's a heavy topic, for sure.
Domestic violence, the trauma.
But Hoover doesn't shy away from it.
She tackles those issues head on.
With such raw honesty.
And that's what makes It Ends With Us so impactful.
It stays with you long after you finish the last page.
It makes you think, and it makes you feel.
And ultimately, it leaves you with a sense of hope.
That even in the darkest of situations, there's always a way forward.
And a chance for a brighter future.
Absolutely.
And that's part of what makes it so compelling, right?
It's not trying to sugarcoat anything.
No, it's very raw, very honest.
Hoover's writing style, it just pulls you right in.
It's so direct, so emotionally charged.
You feel everything Lily's feeling.
Yeah, the joy, the pain, the confusion.
It's like you're right there with her.
Experiencing it all firsthand.
And I think that directness is especially important when you're dealing with such sensitive topics.
Absolutely. It forces us to confront the reality of domestic violence.
And the impact it has not just on the individual, but on everyone around them.
Exactly. It's not something that just goes away.
It leaves scars.
Both visible and invisible.
And it makes you think about those moments in your own life.
Or in the lives of people you know.
Where maybe those same patterns are playing out.
Or maybe we're not seeing things clearly.
Do a wake-up call.
It is. It's a call to awareness.
And that's one of the things I love about literature.
Me too.
It can hold up a mirror to our own lives.
And make us see things we might have otherwise missed.
Now, one of the things that really fascinated me about this book was how Hoover uses flashbacks.
Oh yeah, the flashbacks are brilliant.
Especially those scenes with Atlas.
They're so well written, so full of longing.
And a sense of innocence.
They offer such a stark contrast to the turmoil of Lily's relationship with Ryle.
Like a glimpse into a different kind of love?
A love that felt safe and pure.
Before the heartbreak, before the trauma. It makes you wonder, what if things had been different?
Right. What if Lily had never met Ryle?
Would she have found her way back to Alice?
Would she have found that peace, that security?
It's a question that lingers in your mind.
It does. It speaks to the complexity of human relationships.
And the choices we make.
We can't change the past.
But those what-ifs, they can haunt us.
They can make us question everything.
But ultimately, I think the book suggests that it's not about dwelling on what could have been.
It's about recognizing the strength it takes to overcome those challenges.
And to build a future that's grounded in self-worth.
It's about breaking free from those patterns that no longer serve us.
Even if it means making difficult choices.
Even if it means letting go of people we care about.
And that's where the idea of breaking the cycle comes in.
Which is such a powerful theme throughout the book.
Lily's story really highlights how deeply our past experiences can influence our present choices.
Even when those choices lead us down a painful path.
It's like she's carrying the weight of her parents' relationship on her shoulders.
Their patterns of conflict become her own.
Like a blueprint she's unknowingly following.
Oh, yeah.
And yet, despite all of that,
there's this glimmer of hope.
It's in Lily's determination to create a different life for herself.
To break free from that cycle of hurt.
And that's what makes the book so relatable.
We've all been shaped by our past experiences.
And sometimes those experiences can lead us to make choices that aren't in our best interests.
Lily's struggle to break free from those patterns, it resonates with so many readers.
Because we've all been there in some way.
We've all had those moments where we've had to choose ourselves.
And what's so important about this book is that it doesn't offer easy answers.
It doesn't offer quick fixes.
It acknowledges the complexity of these situations.
And the immense courage it takes to choose a different path.
To choose yourself.
It's about recognizing that we are not defined by our past.
That we have the power to make different choices.
And that healing is possible.
Even after experiencing trauma and heartbreak.
It's a message of hope and resilience.
It is. It's a reminder that we don't have to settle for less than we deserve.
We have the power to create a better future for ourselves.
And for those around us.
Mm-hmm. Now, before we get to the ending,
which I know you're dying to talk about,
I want to circle back to Hoover's writing style for a moment.
Okay.
It's not just the heavy themes that make this book so captivating.
It's the way she structures the story.
The way she keeps us on the edge of our seats.
With those flashbacks.
And the slowly unraveling mystery of Ryle's character.
I was hooked from the very first page.
It's like she's giving us these little puzzle pieces.
And we're trying to figure out how they all fit together.
How they make up the larger picture of Lily's life.
And she reveals those pieces so strategically.
Giving us glimpses into the past.
Moments of tenderness, moments of heartbreak. And it makes you constantly question whether Lily's making the right choice.
By staying with Ryle, it's like she's dangling that what if right in front of you.
And the tension just keeps building.
You're racing through the pages.
Trying to figure out how it's all going to end.
But it's more than just a thriller.
It's about something so much deeper.
Something so much more human. It's about the intricacies of human relationships.
The choices we make.
The patterns we repeat.
And ultimately, the courage it takes to break free.
And create a life that's truly our own.
Okay, so we've talked about the characters, the themes, Hoover's writing style, those amazing flashbacks.
We've covered a lot of ground.
But what really stuck with me, even after finishing the book, was the ending. So without giving too much away, for people who haven't read it yet,
right?
What makes the ending of it? It ends with us so powerful.
It's powerful because it's not your typical fairy tale.
Okay.
It's not tied up in a neat little bow.
Right.
It's messy.
Yeah.
It's bittersweet.
It's real.
Yeah, incredibly real.
But hopeful.
Ultimately hopeful.
Yeah.
I think what really stands out is how it emphasizes self-worth.
Okay.
Lily makes a choice.
Right.
That prioritizes her own well-being and the well-being of her child, even though it's incredibly difficult.
And it really challenges that idea that love conquers all.
Yeah.
Because sometimes walking away is the most loving act.
Sometimes it is.
Even if it breaks your heart.
Even if it breaks your heart.
And it's about recognizing that love shouldn't come at the expense of your safety.
Absolutely.
Of your happiness.
No. It's about setting boundaries. Recognizing those red flags that we were talking about earlier. And having the courage to step away.
From a situation that's no longer serving you.
Even if you still have feelings for that person.
It's a tough lesson.
It is.
But it's a message I think a lot of people need to hear.
Yeah, for sure.
It's easy to get caught up in that idea of the grand romantic gesture.
Right.
That we can change someone.
The power of love.
But this book reminds us that sometimes the strongest, the most loving thing you can do is choose yourself.
Couldn't agree more.
And that choice, as Lily shows us, can be a catalyst for healing.
For growth.
For both ourselves and the people around us.
It's like a ripple effect.
And it's a reminder that we have the power to break those cycles,
Right.
those patterns that maybe we've inherited.
From our families or our past relationships,
We don't have to repeat those mistakes.
we can choose a different path.
So wrapping up our deep dive into It Ends With Us,
Okay.
what are the key takeaways?
Well, I think the book really pushes us to examine our own beliefs about love, about relationships, about self-worth.
Exactly.
It doesn't shy away from the complexities of domestic violence
Right?
and the impact of trauma,
But it also offers a powerful message of hope,
of resilience.
of the courage to choose yourself.
It's a must-read.
If you haven't already, I highly recommend checking it out.
It will stay with you.
It's a story that will make you think and make you feel long after you turn that last page.
Absolutely.
So to our listeners out there, we hope this deep dive gave you some food for thought.
Something to mull over.
We'd love to hear your thoughts,
Definitely reach out and let us know what you think.
and we look forward to diving into another topic with you soon.
Until next time.